have everybody mute. We're going to kind of go over everything. I'm going to kind of demonstrate, talk about it, and then we will kind of take turns, and I'll watch everybody work on this with their dog, and then if you want, it's totally optional, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. If you have questions in the meantime, you can drop them in the chat so that I can answer them as we go, or we might save them till the end. If you don't have a muzzle, that's okay. You might need like a cup or something that they can stick their nose into. I don't know how big of a cup you'd need for Sophie's face, but yeah, okay. So we are going to learn why muzzle training is important, which I think a lot of us already know that. All of you who are here right now have worked with me before. What kind of muzzle to get, how to fit, make sure it's properly fitted, and then we're going to go over how to train it. We're going to, like I said, everyone's going to mute. I will go over everything, we'll demo, then we'll all take turns training, and then we'll open it to Q&A. Why muzzle training is important. So I don't know if you guys saw my post. There was a lady in Manhattan that had found a dog that had a muzzle on it, and she chose to take this muzzle off this dog, the stray dog that she did not know. I understand she was trying to do what she felt was best, but there's a reason that dogs are muzzle trained. Things like going to the vet. A lot of our dogs don't enjoy the vet because it's not a good place. Some things don't typically happen there. So being able to give the vets a level of safety, letting your dog feel a little bit more in control of the situation, it's always good for everyone involved. My dog Opie, when our dogs got into a fight and my other dog almost ripped his leg off, he got a bone infection, and so I had to take him to the vet. And I didn't know how he was going to react to pain, but thankfully we had already muzzle trained him, and so I didn't have to worry about that on top of everything else. Grooming, that's one that I didn't think of when I was posting about all this, because I don't have dogs that have to go to the groomer. So anything like nail trims and things like that, we can put a muzzle on just to keep everybody safe. I hit things from the more paranoid standpoint. So I'm like, if I get in a car accident and EMS has to pull my dog out, like they're gonna probably put a muzzle on my dog, and I want my dog to be comfortable. Or if you have to go to a Red Cross shelter for some reason, like your dog's gonna have to be in a crate or be muzzled. And so I was raised by a very paranoid, prepared type dad. So that's where my brain goes. Some dogs have pica, and so they eat things that don't provide nutritional value or don't have nutritional value. And so if it's bigger things like socks or things like that, they can't get that through the muzzle. And then, of course, reactivity to people, to dogs. So like when my dogs were fighting, they're so big and so unpredictable that the muzzles gave us an extra layer of security. Same thing when I was training my dogs around the cats. I was worried that I was going to miss a body language cue, or I was going to miss something, and so that muzzle allowed us to have another layer of safety to buy me some time to be able to redirect things. We're going to be using it in the behavioral adjustment training on Sunday for the dog mom membership. Opie will probably be in a muzzle at some point as we get closer to the other dog, just because I don't know how it's going to go. And then my final reason for muzzle training is that if your dog doesn't have to be muzzle trained for some reason, you're extremely lucky, but there's a lot of people in the world who have to have a muzzle on their dog. There are even some cities that require certain breeds, like mastiffs and pit bulls, have to have a muzzle if they're outside. Some apartment it's just, you're lucky if you don't have to have a muzzle trained dog. And so I feel like as dog moms, it's important for us to help with the stigma for the dog moms that have to. And so if you don't have a reactive dog, good on you, but let's do it to kind of get rid of the stigma. So if every dog is muzzle trained, then it's not so scary, because a lot of people do think that muzzle training is cruel. It is cruel if we throw the muzzle on the dog and expect them to enjoy it right then and there, and then put them in an uncomfortable situation on top of that. It's not cruel if we train it to love wearing it. I say it's a lot like wearing a collar, right? A collar in itself, there are some people that think that's cruel, but it's for safety, and if we condition it to like it, it's not a bad thing. The dog, and I want to mention this right off the bat, with the basket muzzles that we recommend, they can drink in it, they can pant in it, and they can eat food in it. Bigger objects, like for pica, we can't get through the muzzle, but for food and things like that, we can. So that there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And in some shelter situations, a muzzle is the only way that some staff can handle some dogs. So it's a good thing, and nobody thinks about it until it's too late. So one of my clients has a severely reactive dog, and we needed to rule out medical conditions because I kind of had an idea that it was medically related, and we couldn't even get the medical rule out because the dog was so aggressive towards the vet. So she had messaged me a little while, I think a couple weeks ago, and she was like, we were able to get him into the vet to get neutered all because of the muzzle. And so there's just things that you don't think about until it's too late. Or you'll think, oh, I've raised my dog since it was a puppy, it's fine, it hasn't showed any issues, and then one situation that you weren't prepared for, and now you have to go back to muzzle training. And oftentimes with like dog on dog aggression, we have to start with muzzle training anyway, just to give the owners like some safety and confidence in the situation. So I think every dog should be muzzle trained. So we're going to talk about what to get and how to fit it. So any of the cloth muzzles, I'm going to pull up a picture here. The cloth dog muzzles are used very temporarily, so a lot of vets will use them because they're cheap and they're a little bit more comfortable for the dog if the dog is not muzzle trained, but they can't pant in them, which is why they're a little dangerous for long-term use. So these cloth ones are not good. They close the dog's mouth, and so they can't pant, they can't drink, they can't eat. So we do not want those ones. We want the big, scary looking basket ones. The one that Jennifer has like the plastic pieces that come out here. I'm torn on those. I bought one of those for the new puppy. Oh, I have one. Hold on. So it's got these, and I'm wondering if when it's on her, if she turns, if that's not going to create some discomfort. So I'm going to have to train that one a little bit different, but we'll go over that. And so this is the one I thought Sophie could fit in, Kim, but I think it's way too big. It's going to be like, you might have to have a custom one for her. So Baskerville Ultra is this one. I can't remember what this one's called. But they have a sizing chart, and we'll post, you'll get a PDF with the recording and then all of like the recommended products and the sizing chart and everything. But they have a sizing chart on the back. You muzzle from the base of their, like right here to the tip of their nose, and then you muzzle, or you measure all the way around their muzzle. And so those are the measurements. When fitting the muzzle, you can also, if your dog is, fine going into stores, you can always take your dog to Petco or PetSmart, buy one, take it out to the car, fit it, and then if it doesn't work, you can return it right then and there. They're actually meant to be able to try it. The way they're packaged, you can try them on in store. I just don't want you guys to put a muzzle on your dog in the store around other people and dogs so that they have a bad association with it. Always keep your box for the Baskerville muzzles because we can use it for part of the muzzle training process. It's meant to hold it. I did not know this. Amazing. So the other thing is that when we're fitting it, we don't want, so this little strap goes in between their eyes. We don't want this part to rub on their eyes because that's going to add a pain stimulus to an already uncomfortable situation. And so these Baskerville ones are not 100% fit for your dog. So you can actually boil them like a mouth guard and kind of shape them a little bit. So if you get one that's a close size but it's still rubbing in their eye, you can try to boil it and smush it down and kind of see. I've never had to do that. So the other one I want to talk about is the custom, because I have my other male dog that I had that my ex-husband has now. He had a very short snout and a really big head, and so we had to do a custom bio collar. or not collar, muzzle. So I'm gonna pull up this so you guys can see it. Share screen. Okay, so this is on Etsy, and again, you guys will get links to this. The seller is Khaos Collars. Let's see if we can put his store somewhere. I have personally ordered from them. I liked the quality of the product. And so they're made out of biothane. He tells you explicitly how to order or how to measure. There's pretty specific measurements. And then he likes to have pictures. He likes to have a picture of the tape measure on the dog too, but they're pretty high quality. I liked it. They're a little pricey depending on how high up you go. Actually, I think I paid a lot more than mine. These are on super sale. I think I paid $150 for mine. So you can get cool colors. There's different levels, so different types of reinforcement. I think there are some dog trainers that like very minimal. As long as the structure's there, they're fine. Kind of open nosed. If you want more protection, you can kind of do these. The thing that I want to mention is that this is not foolproof. I think for everybody's dog here, I kind of know everybody. I think these would work great for the more aggressive, like really, I don't want to say screwed up dogs, but the ones that have some severe issues. A dog that's mad enough could get out of one of these, but this is meant to buy us some time. This is allow us to have a second to be like, oh yeah, my dog's uncomfortable, let's redirect. Where was I going with this? Oh, muzzle punching. And so another thing with aggressive dogs is if they lunge at you, they can actually muzzle punch you, and it kind of hurts. So don't be. We had an incident with that. I took my boyfriend on. I needed a man to work this dog, client's dog around, and we had been muzzle training it, and everything was fine. And he was giving the dog a treat, and all of a sudden that dog was like, nope. And went for him and muzzle punched his hand pretty good, but the muzzle was there and nobody died. It was a good day. So we went over Baskerville. Yep, okay. I think we got everything on that. If anybody has questions so far, you can unmute and ask. We'll kind of pause here. Does anybody have any questions? All right, so we're going to go into, I have notes here because I have ADHD so bad that I will forget my train of thought. So if I keep looking down, that's why. So we're going to go with training it. And so this is why I like the basket ones, because they make it, we're going to use this one maybe. So I like to push all of this back and just have this open, because this is where their face goes. So we don't want any of that rubbing right now. We don't want it to get in the way. And then how do we do this? So the part that goes over their eye, this little strap here, is going to go towards us, and then we're going to hold it like that. And what we will do is we will put some treats in there. And so I try to, which one is it? That one. So that rectangle there is where I try to get the treats. It helps if you put a few of them in there first. Makes it a lot more smelly and nasty. Would you like to do this? This is my new puppy. Kim, I don't think you guys knew about her. Her name is Voodoo, and she is a pit bull cocker spaniel. Where's my clicker? You don't have to use a clicker for this, but I'm going to with her. It's kind of a lot to juggle, so if you don't want to use the clicker, you can use the verbal marker of yes or good or whatever your verbal marker is. Some dogs are going to be too afraid of this at first, so you could just click if they smelled it. Like she's smelling it, I could click. But for the most part, if we have treats in there, she's going to want to put her head in there. So as soon as she's in, yeah, you got one. As soon as she's in, we're going to click, and then she's going to get the treat herself. I'm going to use this smaller one because that's too big. See, I don't know what I think about those with the side straps. I think they poke in a little bit. What do I think? And so she's very fearful. She's still a puppy. She's still in her second fear stage. So she's a little bit timid when it comes to this. She doesn't have a lot of try. So you see, like, as soon as she goes in, she backs up a little bit. Nope, she didn't do it that time. Good job. And so this is the game for a solid 2-3 days. If you were going to work on this consistently for 3 days, this is all we're going to do. Is just present it, and then as soon as they go for it, you can do this while you're watching TV if you needed to. Sometimes you kind of have to smush your hand to kind of get like the, can't really see it, but to get the fat of your hand to kind of go through there a little bit more. Let me get some more treats. You stole more than one. And I've never, I think I put a muzzle on her to size it last week, but I have never done any muzzle training with her. So this is brand new to her. See how she keeps choosing to come back. Good job. So we're going to work on that for a couple of days. And then a few days, consistently. And then step 2 of muzzle training is we're just going to put this around the neck. We're not going to put it around the nose and the neck. We're just going to do neck. And we're going to do very short. We're not even going to clip it. We're going to do very short. I'm going to do a verbal marker for this. So we're going to go, yes. Very short bursts. We're not going to try to clip it on so that it's hanging. We're just getting her used to it being, yes, around her neck. Really? Okay. Yes. And then we can gradually increase the amount of time that we put it around the neck. Yes. And then we just slowly start building the duration that we can do it. We can clip it for a second. Yes. Know that the sound might startle them a little bit. This has like a lock on it. I do not like that at all. It's got, I didn't know this. This is like a new version. It'll like lock it on there. That's weird. Unlock. Okay. So that was a little too much for her. Yes. So you could also just do the sound of the clicking if it's bad on your muzzle. The other muzzle I have is not that bad. But you could just like kind of get close to them. Yes. As soon as the click happens, you can treat. And so then we're going to work on that for a few days. And so I'm kind of going back and forth, right? We're still going to do the in the hand one, but then we're going to kind of alternate and go to the neck and build that up. And then we will, that's about a week worth consistently. And then we can go to muzzle and neck, but we're not going to clip it. I really don't like this muzzle. I like the old version. So I'm going to actually get a different dog. Hold on, because I don't want to traumatize her completely. Come on. Come on, baby. Let's go. Thank you. This is my crackhead. Where'd you go? Come here. Come on. What are you doing? Yeah. Come here. So we're going to go on. Yes, you can see. 1, 2, yes. Just take it off. We're not going to leave it on. You can even, the other ones used to have like a clip where you could take this off, but I don't think these do. Let me look at this bigger one. Now, this new version of the Baskerville, I'm not a fan of. They used to have like a buckle here, so you could unhook that so it's not in their eyes, but let's see. Try again. Oh, come on. Opie. Hey. Hey. Who's this? Okay. No, there was a sit. No, okay. Like I said, he just turned 6 a couple days ago, and he's been acting real weird. Okay. 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 So then 1, 2, yes. And then we build up that duration, we can put it on. There you go. We can clip it for a second. No, we can't because this is not fitted. lost his muzzle in the move. Like, how do you lose a muzzle? I don't know where it went, but so we're getting used to a new one, huh? Yes. And just kind of play with it. Go back to just holding it. And so with him, I don't have to do the treat anymore. Yes, good. Muzzle. How about you hold it in there? Yes. And then you can go into the full around the face. This one, like I said, goes in between their eyes. Like that. Yes. And then, so where we get the most frustration with muzzle training is adding duration. So the dog doesn't like it on their face for as long. And so there's a couple different theories on what you could do. Some people have really good luck with just throwing the muzzle on and going out for a walk because the dog is distracted by all of the smells, that they're not worried about what's on their face. But like what Mark said, do we really want them to have a bad association with it? And so you kind of run that balance, right? Like maybe the backyard is enough to where she's not going to be in an uncomfortable situation and she can still get the outside smells. So that's a method. The other method, which I just recently learned about, is taking a piece of foil and wrapping the bottom, like kind of putting it in the bottom, like that. And then you put like wet food in there and you freeze it. And then you stick it on your dog. So they have to lick while it's melting and they're getting used to it being on their face. And so you could also do a little bit of peanut butter, a little bit of spray cheese, whatever you need to do. I did not know about this. We used to just do, like, we just spread peanut butter right here, and that became a mess. So that's kind of, I will say that building duration for it being on your face, on their face, is the most frustrating part. Having to build up that duration is the hard part. And so your dog will, you will see this behavior. So I'm going to show with Opie because he hasn't done this in a hot minute. Oh, maybe. So he will start pawing. Oh, you can't see it. He will start pawing. Yes. And so when you're at that point, you can kind of distract a little bit and use the treats through the whole. And the same way that we had the treats in the beginning, we can deliver a treat that way. So I'm just putting it in the palm of my hand and it's going in that little rectangle. Sit. Yes. If you've worked on the other behaviors like sit, yeah, you can distract with that a little bit. On your bed. Nope. Okay, come here. We just want to make sure that we're not taking it off when our dog paws at it. We want them to stop pawing, and then we can take it off. Even if it's us distracting and bribing them to stop. I can't get this off. Thank you. Good boy. Good boy. Okay. Let's see. What else am I missing? Keep the box. I said that. Foil with the wet food. And then train it in your living room first, and then train in different rooms. Train out back, train out front, and then work on like whatever your goals are. So if it's the vet, go for a happy visit. Go on a car ride. Like gradual steps towards what the ultimate goal is. We're gonna have to work on muzzle training by tomorrow because I need him to be muzzled, and I thought he was going to be a little bit better at that than he was. But also, this has a spot. I think this is for the collar. It can go through the collar. I don't use that. If we had like a super aggressive dog who I thought was at risk of getting out of it, we would use all of the safety mechanisms here. But for the most part, I don't think any of you guys need that. For anybody who watches the replay, I'm probably going to say it, brachycephalic dogs. So dogs that have different airway have to have a different muzzle. I do want to go over that really quick. They have I asked, my mom has a bulldog, and I was like, you want to come to the muzzle training workshop? She's like, what muzzle's going to fit that? And so they kind of look like these Bane muzzles. The basket ones are hilarious. There's also these metal ones. I don't have experience with those, but they're good. There's some funny ones that look like ducks, and they're kind of fun. One thing that I do want to mention for the recording for the people who watch that work in animal shelters is, and it's kind of just good information for you guys, these used to be like a clip ring thing, and so we would clip it to the inside of the kennel that the dog is in, because some dogs are so aggressive that we just can't handle them. And so how do you muzzle train a dog you can't sit here and touch, right? So we would clip it to the door, and they would have to go in there to get the treat. And so it is possible to muzzle train a dog that you can't touch. It just takes a little bit of creativity. So we will kind of go through, I know Jennifer, you're kind of working on this right now with Wrigley. If you don't have a muzzle yet, you can use a cup. Just put a treat in there. Every time your dog goes for it, let's see if he'll do it. You can click and treat. Whoopee. This is not a big enough cup, but the thought's there. This is good for any dog that has confidence issues. So when they have to put their muzzle in a cup, it kind of takes away their vision, and so that builds their confidence in uncomfortable situations. So that's just a good exercise to do in general. But if you don't have a muzzle yet, you can do that. And then, yeah, we'll just kind of go through, and I'll kind of watch. I think I'm going to watch Wrigley first. And if you guys can only see me, I think you can swipe right if you're on a phone to see the good view of everybody. Cruella's ringing the doorbell to go outside. Amazing. Wrigley's doing awesome here. Short second. Good. Perfect. Good.
I put it around his neck a minute ago, and he, without the muzzle on, but just the neck, and he was fine.
Good.
It's in here.
And some dogs are okay with it. Some dogs just take a little bit longer to get used to it.
But
There's a really cool video I want to pull up and show you guys.
boy,
This is a Doberman, I feel like. I can't find it now. There's a really cool video of like a police canine kind of thing, and the drive that dog had to get to the muzzle was just insane. So Wrigley's doing the couple seconds. Good. All right, Gabby, do you want to try? I know your dogs are muzzle trained, but if you want to try it, feel free to.
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
He's short, so I gotta get down low. Okay. Okay, you can't even see him. Yeah, he loves going into his muzzle.
Do you have any issues with those sidebars at all, or no?
No, I haven't noticed any issues with him.
Okay. I like that he puts
just
weights, like.
Yeah, he will. If I move it, he'll just run for it. He loves it. Like, see, he'll just keep going for it.
Yeah, and that's the thing here, right? Like, if we just threw a muzzle on a dog, she has, like, it's amazing.
Yeah. Good boy.
All right. Good on that one. I'm gonna mute you and then keep going. Kim, did you guys want to try with the cup and Sophie? Is there even a cup big enough? Does it need to be a bowl? Hold on, you guys are muted. we go.
Yeah, we use a cup. We eat our yogurt in big cups, and so she'll, after we're finished, stuck her head all the way down inside and get it. So, yeah, she's doing it right now.
Oh, well,
Oh,
the tongue.
yeah, there you go.
I might have to get a bigger.
Oh my God, she's gotten so big. So you guys, Sophie started with us when she was what, probably 3 months old,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she used to come
she's
play.
95 pounds. She's right at 95 pounds yesterday. So
That's what Cruella weighs too.
we won't get a whole lot bigger, hopefully.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. She's got such a short, round nose.
Yes, she does.
Trying to get it out.
Her jowls are so long,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
How's Cruella doing?
She is good. No more issues with her leg.
Good, good.
We we moved to Abilene, and so we moved the 1st of April out here, and so
Uh-huh.
been getting used to the different people that walk by. Like we don't really have that at the other house because we were at a split level, so she couldn't really see, and so that barking behavior is starting to get me a little frustrated, but her instincts, right?
We worked with Sophie, so she has her inside bark, so it's just a woof woof.
That's smart. Yeah. So yes.
Yeah.
This might fit Sophie. I don't know. Lengthwise, it's good for Cruella, but it's a little too big. And Sophie's much bigger. Right here. She's just sticking. You get it? There you go. Maybe.
Because if I get something that's gonna fit around her nose to cover her jowls, then it's gonna be too long from her nose to up underneath her eyes.
Yeah, because what was it? I was looking.
It was like
Two and 3 quarters,
quarters
15 or something like that.
Yeah, so
from
2.5
a
inches puts you at a size 2, but around that's only 10 inches.
yeah that won't even begin to get her lips in there.
Good job. Yeah, and so see how that's on her eye right there? That we don't want that.
Yeah.
Get it? I think I might
So
have done
where
well in the beginning.
where would we get one made? I mean,
That if you're gonna get one made, I have personal experience with that Khaos Collars that I was talking about on Etsy. He was really good to work with. It's quality work. I used it on my Mastiff Pit Bull mix, so I would recommend that. But any biofane type thing would be able to be custom made.
and it was Khaos Collars.
Yeah, I'm gonna send out a PDF afterwards, probably later tonight, that'll have the details of everything, and so that link will be on there.
Okay.
But I can text it to you right now too, while we're here.
We'll go ahead and mute again if you want.
Do what?
We'll go ahead and mute now if you like.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So I will text you the link to that.
I have a question, Emily. Can you look at her muzzle and tell me if you think it's too small on her?
Can I see? There we go.
Hold on, let me turn her head.
What size is that one?
I think it's a 2. Let me see. Yeah, it's a 2. I'm thinking maybe I need to size up one.
I don't know. It looks like it fits to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a lot of space to open her mouth. That's my only concern.
See,
Like
and
she can eat, but I feel like her pant is like short.
Right. And that's the problem with these. Like, they're not foolproof. Like, they're not going to work for every dog. Right? So, like, not every Boston Terrier is going to have the same face. Or, you know, I have a King Corso who would be in like a size 4 probably, but Sophie's like a size 5, 6 maybe. So, you might, I'm wondering, so you said it was a size 2?
Yeah, it's a size 2.
So that's a 1/2 inch difference to size up.
So maybe I should try it.
So that's 1/2 inch length and 1/2 inch width. So and that's the problem, right? So if you want width, you're gonna have more length now. And so does it rubberize? Does it not? Is it too much? So, I mean, play around with it. I don't think, as long as she can pant and she can drink, I think it's fine. And especially like, so there are some people who live in households where they have to muzzle train their dog 24/7 because the dog's just unpredictable with other dogs. And so typically I think everybody in here, we're going to be using this situationally. And so if we're on a walk or if we're having to go to the vet, it's not going to be something that they have to wear for hours at a time. It can be, but I don't think any of us are going to use it that way. So if it doesn't fit 100% perfectly, as long as it's not causing any pain, I don't think it's a problem.
Okay.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions? Kind of go over everything. Okay. We, what are we doing? Let's see. So I think, so last month's workshop was all about teaching our dogs to love nail trims. This workshop is muzzle training. I think next month's workshop is going to be about reading dog body language. That's something we talk about in the Dog Mom membership a lot, but I think it's important to have a workshop about it. And so you guys can stay tuned on that. We do have a couple spots left in the Dog Mom membership, and that's where we work on everything and anything that your dog has problems with. I feel like most of us have reactive dogs, and that's kind of what we're working on, but everybody's kind of got their own version of that, and we work on things like reacting to people, behavior adjustment training, pulling on the leash, that kind of stuff. And the cool thing about that is the community. We do meetups. Tomorrow we're meeting up to go through a behavior adjustment training scenario with Colleen's Cane Corso and my Opie. So having that community of dog moms to be able to train around and train with is super important, I feel like. So yeah, if you guys, that'll be in the packet too. And like I said, I'll get the PDF out to you guys this evening. It takes a while for the recording to upload, and so it'll be this evening. You'll have a PDF, kind of just an overview of what we talked about, and then like the recommended supplies, where to get them, and there will be a QR code and a link to the recording of this. So if you have questions or you need to go back, it's all there. The people who are signed up that are attending live, they get the recording. And so, yeah. Okay, if anybody has any questions, let me know. If not, we will end it there. Nothing? Okay.